Hey, everyone. Mondays with Mel is happening in less than 60 seconds. So go ahead, do me a favor, share this to your pages, share this with your friends, tag someone that you be tuned in. And if you've not already subscribed to the Matter of Focus social media pages, go ahead and do that before we get started. You can do that at Facebook and Instagram. I'll see you in a minute. Hey, everyone. Mondays with Mel is happening in less than 60 seconds. So go ahead, do me a favor, share this to your pages, share this with your friends, tag someone that you be tuned in. And if you've not already subscribed to the Matter of Focus social media pages, go ahead and do that before we get started. You can do that at Facebook and Instagram. I'll see you in a minute. Hey, everyone. Mondays with Mel is happening in less than 60 seconds. So go ahead, do me a favor, share this to your page. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Mondays with Mel. I am Melanie Preston, clinical therapist and relationship architect. And on Mondays with Mel, what we do is we talk about everything at the intersection of relationships and mental health and wellness. So we are talking not just today, but I think we may be on this topic for a minute. So, if you know people who are in these dating streets, go ahead and share this with them. I'm going to try my best to answer questions that are asked. Let's see here. So first of all, let me know that you guys can hear me, especially on Facebook. Just give me a one in the chat if you can hear me okay. I'm always concerned about the audio. So just put a one in the chat if you can hear me okay. And if you're on Instagram, give me a one if you can hear me okay. So, hey. All right. So, we are talking about dating, right? And I decided to do this live at an earlier time because I wanted to just make sure that I'm reaching people when they are available. So, just kind of also let me know if the earlier time works better. I've been going live on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. But I did want to just try going back to a daytime situation around lunchtime in order to just make sure I'm reaching the most people. So I said already married. Listen, here's the deal. We are never too old. It's never too late to learn how to date again. So even if you are already um married, even if you're already married, there are still different ways to learn how to date. So is it still okay? So somebody said on Facebook it's skipping a little. Is it still skipping, or can you hear me okay? Let me know on Facebook if you can hear me okay. All right, Facebook, can you guys hear me okay? Okay, cool. So, all right, I want to start out with just a few um, statistics, and first of all, telling you guys about who I serve. I serve women and couples. That's who I serve on a daily basis. So I get a lot of questions. I get a lot of women who are they're in these dating streets, right? And it is a very interesting journey to say the least. So I want to start out today with just a few statistics. Okay. So first of all, statistics tells us that 60% of single women are actively not dating. 60% of single women are not actively dating, like they're not looking to date. And then 43% of single men are not dating and not looking to date. Now, this blew my mind when I saw this, but more than 45% of Americans that are over the age of 18 are single. They are single, and over 44 million are using online dating platforms. Right. So during the pandemic, because we had to be inside, we were inside, but we weren't inside. So the online dating world really blew up during the pandemic. So right now, over 44 million singles are actively dating on dating apps. And by the year 2025, it's projected that slightly over 53 million people will be using dating platforms um, to seek out their a significant other or just dating in general. And because we're going to talk about this topic for quite a while, I really wanted to start out today with two things that I want you to keep in mind if you are dating, okay, or if you are approaching dating. And I think this will also answer several of the questions that were posed. So the first thing of the two that I want you to really keep in mind if you are dating is, are you emotionally healthy enough to date? So that's the first thing I want you to keep in mind. If you are dating in 2023, are you emotionally healthy enough to date? Now, we get into dating situations and we're in various stages of our life, right? We are divorced. We've been in relationships, but maybe it was emotionally or physically um, or verbally abusive, right? So maybe there is emotional trauma you've dealt with in a previous relationship. Maybe you've always been single and you were single with kids, and that's a topic that we're going to get into on a different Monday. But let's just say you're getting into the dating scene. You have to understand if you are emotionally healthy enough to be in a relationship, right? And sometimes we don't know if we are emotionally ready until we get into the dating scene. We may think we are ready, and then we get into dating, and there are things that start to happen that trigger you. So you have to know what your triggers are first of all, um, and you have to know if you can date while while learning and working through those triggers. So some people believe we have to be completely emotionally healthy in order to date. That's not true, because if we're all waiting to be completely emotional healthy, then that would mean we're all pretty perfect, and none of us are perfect. There's because there are always things that we are working through, right? The more we unpack, the more we see that's there. So we can have healed from certain things, and you may go several years and then figure out there's more healing you need, or there's something new that's happened that you need to work through. So first thing first, understand, are you emotionally healthy enough to date? Like, should you even be out in these dating streets? Now, caveat, I would say if you have dealt with significant sexual trauma or physical, verbal abuse, any type of sexual or emotional trauma, if you have not at least started your healing journey, you probably should not be in these dating streets, because chances are there are old wounds and maybe even new wounds that are still there, and you may date out of pain, right? So instead of being able to date from a place of I'm really looking for a partner, you're dating out of pain, and you're dating um and you're dating in a way in which your pain will cause more pain, right? So we've heard of the term that hurt people hurt people. Well, when we are dating and we are still in pain, then we are more apt to cause pain to someone who may be a really good potential partner, right? So, okay, so somebody on Facebook said, in my case, I was dating back in the day, and the dude triggered a memory from my trauma, and I punched him. Ooh, ooh, wee. Yes. So, we don't want you out here punching people. Please don't be out in these. Please don't be out here punching folks, y'all. Okay. Um, it will cause you to trauma bond. Absolutely, absolutely. So understand where you are in your emotional healing journey. If you've started the work, then sometimes you don't know how far you've gotten in your journey until you at least put your pinky toe in the water. And then you figure out, like, okay, here's what I can handle, here's what I cannot handle. So that's first thing. First thing. Um, are you emotionally healthy enough to date? Because let's just say, depending on your journey, you still may be working through anger. Let's say you're divorced and it was not amicable. There may be things you need to work on, um, that that mean you need time, you need space, you need to be alone and work through and process the things you've dealt with, um, that led to the breakup, right? That led to the divorce, that led to the demise of a relationship. Sheila says, in a current breakup, and I'm just scared to do anything right now because I still cry. Absolutely. These are signs, right? The fact that you are still crying is a sign that there are still emotions that have to work through before you can properly move on. So I would encourage you even to consider your emotions, right? So if you're crying, why are we crying? What are the emotions you're experiencing? If the emotions are I'm sad, I'm mad, I'm hurt, okay? Identify the emotion and then identify the need that goes with that. So if I'm crying, or if I'm sad, what is the need I have that was not met? So clients hear me say this all the time. For every need, for every emotion, whether it is a positive or negative emotion, there is a need attached. So if we have good, pleasant emotions, that means we have some need that's being met, right? It's feel good. We feel good about it. Now, when we have negative, or when we have positive, uh, negative or bad emotions, bad feelings, that means usually there's a need we have that's not been met. So if we're crying, 9 times out of 10, that means there's a need I have that hasn't been met. Crying is the action, though, right? Crying is the reaction to whatever your mind has perceived to be a negative emotion, right? So something happened. We see it, we feel it, we process it, whether we've said it or not, and the outward display of how we feel is crying, right? So if crying goes into the emotion, identify what the emotions are. And it may take time to just work through that, right? It may take time to figure out, well, why am I mad? Now, if you're why am I crying? If you're crying and it's, well, he did such and such, or no, that's not an emotion. So find your feeling words. Remember, you know how the teachers used to say, use your words. So find your feeling words. Let's find our feeling words. Why are we crying? I feel. What is the feeling? What is the emotion? And then work from there to determine what the need is you have, whether it's a physical or an emotional need. Um, Says, I miss him. We are not even talking right now. Okay, so you have to deal with that. If you miss him, deal with why you miss him. First of all, why did you break up in the first place? We broke up, but I miss him. So why do we miss the person that we broke up with? Right? So, and you really have to do the work of unpacking all of that. Okay? So, know if you are emotionally healthy enough to date. And then we can break that down a little bit more. You could be divorced, you could have experienced a bad breakup, you could be there could have been emotional trauma from long ago. You could be a new widow. You could be a new widow. There are many different layers as to why we need to identify if we are emotionally healthy enough to date, and knowing where you are in that journey. Um, okay, it was him. He has issues with communication. Okay, so if he has issues with communication, you still have to do the inward work of how well did you communicate? Was it just him by himself, or was it both parties that were involved? Okay. So number two of 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 why of things that we need to know as we're going into dating. Um, you need to understand your why. Like after you've determined if you are emotionally healthy enough to date, figure out why you want to date. Know your why. A lot of people go into dating, but they have not determined, like, okay, why am I dating? What's my goal? Right? So for example, let's just say, for example, you've had a bad breakup, or you've had a divorce, or you're a new widow, right? You may decide, um, I just want to get out here and date. I just want to meet people. I just want to see what it even feels like to go on a date, right? That's a different kind of dating than I'm dating with the intentionality of I am looking for the possibility of a long-term relationship. Because if you are dating to have fun, dating to just spread your wings, get back out there, that's a different type date. That means I'm not looking for a monogamous relationship at this point. I am simply looking to hang out. But you have to identify what your reason is for dating. Because if you don't identify why you're looking to date, you'll say yes to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's walking that asks you out on a date. because you haven't determined what you're looking for, where you are in your life journey, right? You may go out with you may choose to go out with someone that you wouldn't necessarily go out with if you were looking for a long-term commitment. In other words, a fun person to date may not be final person to take home, to meet your family, to meet your kids, to meet, whoever you consider important in your life. So know your why. And here's the other thing. Listen, all of us are grown. And I know that there will be some that will not like or appreciate these statements. But at the end of the day, if you know you are dating just to have fun, what do I mean by fun? If you know you're dating and you're in, shall we say, they call it your whole phase, right? If you know you just in a whole phase, be clear about your whole phase. Yes, I said it. If you know that you are in a whole phase, be clear about your whole phase. That's a different dynamic than I'm looking for long term commitment. Because if you go in knowing what you're looking for, and that was one of the other trends going into 2023, is more people are looking to be open about what they are really looking for in relationships. There's a group of people who are really into looking for intentionality in dating. And then there's a huge group of people who are now more into being open and honest with where they are sexually, what they are looking for, so that, it's everyone has an informed, everyone is informed. So know your why. Are you dating and you're looking for long-term partnership? Okay, if that's the case, then what is on the list of things you need from a long-term partnership? What are the criteria that this person should have to even be on your radar? Because some of us are saying yes to dating people that if we really had already created our list of must haves, they wouldn't even be an option. So those are the two things I really want you to keep in mind just this week as it relates to dating. Is first of all, one, know if you are emotionally healthy enough to date. And number two, after you have determined that, determine your why. Why are we dating? Are we dating for friendship? Are we dating for long term potential? Are we um are we phase? Are we freshly divorced and just want to be out in these streets? Call a spade a spade. That's what I normally say. Be an adult. Specify what it is you're looking for. Because when you specify what it is you are looking for, it gives less opportunity for people to be confused, and it gives less opportunity for you to send mixed signals. Kim, I see the side eyes. Make sure that you are letting people know what your intentions are. I encourage anyone who is dating, be honest. Here is what I'm after. Here's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a long-term relationship. I'm just looking to have fun right now. Okay, if that's where you are, say that. You know what? I don't want anybody that I need to take home. I just want to have fun tonight. Be safe with that. But if that's what you're looking for, say that. If perhaps you are looking for intentional, long term possibility type relationships, then that means the person that comes by and says, "Oh well, I'm not ready to get married." Deuces is not even someone you should go out on a date with, because they're telling you from the beginning, "Hey, that's not what I'm looking for." Because now, if you go into it saying, "Oh, well, I know that's not what he or she is looking for, but if we date, then maybe I can, maybe they can grow into that." No, I already told you that is not what they are looking for. Respect what people say. If he or she says, "I'm only out to have a good time right now," then if that's not aligning with what you say, I don't care how fine she is, or I don't care how sexy he is not someone you should be on a date with. Because you know what happens? You will go out on a date with him or her, and they've already told you where they are in their dating expectation. You fall for them, and then you're upset when you find out that you are not the only one they're seeing. Or when you're waiting for them to put a ring on it, and they told you from the beginning, they never intended to put a ring on it. She told you from the beginning she wasn't trying to be a wife. She told you from the beginning she didn't want kids. But you wanted to keep dating her anyway with the hope that, oh, I'll talk her into it. No, she already told you. She already told you. He already told you what he was after. So know your why. Now, okay, I am going to answer these questions. These were some good questions too. Okay, so the first question is, how do you know if it's safe to date again if you've been on a healing journey? Key signs to look for. I think I somewhat answered this previously, because if number one, um, you should already have started your healing journey, right? And so if you've already started your healing journey, you will know when it's time, right? And sometimes, like I said earlier, you have to kind of get out there to then understand, okay, how much of this can I take? Maybe I'm ready to sit and have a conversation. Maybe I'm ready to casually date, but I realize I'm not ready for a serious commitment. I'm not ready for someone to be that close into my inner space. I'm okay with going to the movies. I'm not okay with holding hands. Or I'm okay to hold hands, but I'm not okay to kiss someone. I'm not okay to be embraced in a certain way, right? And then when you have those feelings, you really have to do yourself the favor of really sitting with those feelings and determining, like, how strong are these feelings. So if these feelings are so strong that it causes you angst, in other words, you become nervous. Like if you're out with someone and maybe they will touch your hand, or they want to lean in to kiss you, and you become terrified, or you're sweaty, or your heart is racing, and it produces fear, you may want to back up, because somewhere in you still don't find dating, you still don't find safety in the person or the situation. And you have to really determine, okay, is it the situation because of my previous experiences, or is there something about this person that is triggering me in a way that reminds me of the past, and maybe I just didn't see it before. right? So that's somewhat of a loaded question, but I definitely hope that helps. Next question was, why don't men commit? Well, here's what I was saying earlier with know your why. We meet men that don't want to commit. We meet women that don't want to commit because we have not put it out there from the beginning that we are only looking to date with commitment potential. So if we start out saying, I'm not looking for casual dating, I am looking for dating potential, that has long term potential. 9 times out of 10, the ones who are not willing to commit, a they will keep swiping, they won't last, or you will be able to pick them out quickly even if you choose to go on a date with them, because your conversation is intentional. So if you're having intentional conversation around commitment and what commitment looks like in a relationship, um usually the other party is going to give you clues, um or is going to give you clues that say whether or not they are looking for commitment as well. But y'all, here's the other thing we do. We'll hear what they say and we ignore it. We will straight ignore it. So if you know that's what you're looking for, have that at the forefront of your conversation. You may get 5 frogs before you find a prince or a princess. But if you're intentional, it will cause less heartache along the way. Okay. And if I need to follow up with any of these questions, just let me know. Here was the next question. Um, why sex so soon after meeting? Again, I believe um, sex becomes a challenge when we're first meeting someone because we haven't spelled out our expectations. So if in our first interactions, I'm already setting the stage of, here is where I am with my sexual behavior. Here are my expectations. Here is what I am not about. I am not about sex on the first date. I am not about sex before marriage, right? Like whatever your preference is, whatever your belief system is, whatever your lifestyle is in this season, start with that. Because when we don't start with where we are specifically, that's how we run into these relationships where, oh, we like this person, now you just want to have sex with me. Well, that means somebody didn't have a conversation. We're leaving things to chance. So if we're not having the conversation, then he or she doesn't know that you don't want to just meet and at night and have sex, or that you don't really want to go out and date, that you want to just be the booty call, that you don't want to just be the booty call. They don't know that because we're waiting and we're tiptoeing around the conversations we should be having from the beginning. Okay. All right, next question. Why can't we let go of past relationships? This goes back to the first thing I said regarding um, understanding whether or not you are healthy enough to date. If you are still comparing, if you are still pining over or dreaming of, if you are still having thoughts of the previous relationship, chances are you're not ready to date. There is something about that past relationship that has you bound, that has a hold on you, that has that's in which you are bonded in a way. That has to really be addressed before you can move on. Because if you don't, then you'll always walk into the next relationship carrying the imaginary baggage of that past relationship with you. Right? So it's like you got out of the relationship, but you're still chained to it. You're still bound to it. In essence, they walk right along with you into the next relationship. So if you haven't um, gotten over, moved past, healed from the previous relationship, then we really need to deal with that. And it can be difficult to navigate that if you're trying to date at the same time, because often what happens is we will start to identify those pain points in a new relationship, even if the person isn't even doing anything, because we associate it with pain. We associate dating with pain. We associate everything with the previous relationship. So you really have to unpack that um, before you're out here dating. Last question. Why do we make the new person suffer for past relationship mistakes? So let me read this question again. Why do we make the new person, so this is the new person we are dating, why do we make this person suffer for the mistakes of a past relationship? What this says is, again, we have not done our due diligence in working through the past hurt. We have not made sure that we're emotionally healthy enough to be in a relationship. So if you're and remember, I said this earlier, when we go into a relationship and we've not healed enough to really be in a relationship, hurt people hurt people. So the hurt person goes into the relationship and you're causing fights, you're causing strife, you know, you're bickering because you're not healthy enough to be in the relationship. So if you are in a relationship and the person you are with is being made to suffer because of past relationship mistakes, that means you, dear sir, dear ma'am, are not in an emotionally healthy enough state to date, because you're still making the new people pay for old baggage, and that's not fair. Okay? All right. I hope this has been good. I hope this has been fruitful to you. If you didn't get a chance to finish it, I hope you do come back and catch the replay. If you don't catch it on Facebook, you could also go to YouTube. It's the same. It's the official underscore Mel Preston. But if you have more questions, make sure you leave those for me, or you can send them, um, put them in the DMs. I would be glad to answer your questions. And I think we're going to pick up dating again next week as well. So I hope also have a happy Valentine's Day on tomorrow. If you're dating and you're healthy dating, have a great day on tomorrow. And just remember, even for Valentine's Day, it's not all about romantic love. It's about showering people with love in general. So it could be your family, it could be your friends. So just make sure that we are growing and being healthy as we move forward in dating, as we move forward in love, and in any respect of relationships. Okay. All right. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.